Happy Monday and welcome into the #1 Group of Five football podcast in all of the world. This is the Group of Five guys. If you're new here, if you're just listening for the first time, our mission is to be the voice for the Group of Five football programs, a voice that the mainstream sports media refuses to be. We need everybody's help to do that. We need you to follow us on all the social media platforms at Group of Five guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to the channel, give us a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, share with your family and friends. On this Monday night live edition of Inside Drill, second time guest. However, I think we can say first ever live guest, live in, just a postcard, picturesque sunset, palm trees in Miami, Florida, FIU head coach Mike MacIntyre. Coach Mac, welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm excited about this. I love your FIU gear there, too. Thanks for wearing that.
Absolutely. You got to rep it.
Balls up, right?
You know, this show is contingent now, Coach. I don't know if you're in the loop on this, but we got to get some of the Vice gear.
Okay.
One way or another, whether I get down, I get back to my family down in South Florida and I come see you, we come to a game, or, hey, I'll be going to the beach in a couple weeks. Maybe get some a tank sent to me. But
we're actually auctioning off our uniforms as we speak from last year.
I saw that. Well, Coach, let's start with that, because you guys did a new field, right? Every single home game last year. Well, who was that? Your idea. Walk me through the process of really the idea, and then how the heck you pulled it off every week.
Right. Well, with our field turf, we're able to paint it all different ways, and so that makes it nice. But Scott Carr, our athletic director, came up with the idea, and I was definitely for it. And our crew does an unbelievable job of cleaning the field off, repainting it, doing different things, and we match it up with kind of the uniforms we're wearing that week and the theme that we're trying to do. And we were voted the #1 uniform in college football last year, and got a lot of media attention over that. So we're trying to do everything we can to get as much exposure as we can for our players and our program.
Well, definitely, I noticed last year, Coach, especially with the students, seemed like you guys are garnering a lot more excitement around the program. Definitely had some bigger crowds. What have you guys done in the community and on campus to try and really get that, the students coming in and just the general ticket sales up?
Yeah, we're doing a lot more media relations with the students, with the fans in town. We're playing better and better football, so hopefully have a lot better season this year, and that'll keep progressing it. It's a lot of help on the university campus there, and then we're trying to create a lot of the Twitter, the Instagram, all of that means a lot to those college kids and getting them out there to the games. We also opened up tailgating on campus more than it ever has been, and a lot of the fraternities and sororities have gotten really involved, and that's made a big difference for us.
Coach, last time we talked, we pretty much just talked X's and O's. We talked football, but we've been trying to get a little bit more, I guess, personal. So we never got to hear your football story, right? About, growing up, when you fell in love with football, when you decided you wanted to be a coach. Take us through that.
Well, I grew up a coach's kid, so I've been involved in it from day one. I was born here in Miami at Doctors Hospital in Coral Gables, on Miami's campus. When my dad played there, and then he was coaching there, and we lived here for a while. Then we moved up to Tampa, and then we moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and I was very fortunate to go to a great high school, a football factory, I would call it, Brentwood Academy. Played there for the winningest coach in Tennessee football history. I think he still holds the record, Carlton Flatt, and just fell in love with football and went to play at Vanderbilt University. And then after 2 years, they let our coach go. I transferred to Georgia Tech and ended up playing there for 2 more years and graduating, and then went to the University of Georgia as a graduate student, coaching football for Ray Goff. And then I just kind of began my trek of coaching. And so in our 34th year of coaching, and excited about what's going on with it, and have really enjoyed it.
Well, you've been up north, you've been in the Midwest, you've been out west. I think we know, but Miami's, it doesn't get better than that. Am I right?
No, it doesn't. Football is important down here. There's no doubt about it. It's in the DNA. I say that all the time, but it really is. it's a badge of honor to be a football player when you live in South Florida. There's no doubt about it.
Coach, spring ball just finished up. What's your initial thoughts? How did it go from where you guys started to how you guys finished up?
Well, I thought it went well. I guess like most all coaches in America think their spring practice went well. But, we had a young quarterback last year, Keywan Lights Out Jenkins, who started 11 games for us and had some excellent games and had some freshman games. And our team's gotten better and more mature with it, especially our offensive line and defensive lines have gotten bigger and better and more depth. The last half of spring practice, Keywan was what I would call lights out. He was getting it, was feeling it, understood it, and the light bulb came fully on, and it was really exciting to see that. Our O-line has really improved and has more experience underneath it. So we feel like we're definitely headed in the right direction and excited about this fall.
Well, yeah, we had talked about that too when he first came in and started playing. And there's a lot of schools across the country that had a freshman kind of dual threat quarterback that had that early success. But then, like you said, then you got to remember they're freshmen and they sometimes do freshman things. But what is it like to bring him back, a local kid, Miami Central kid who was, if you don't know about Miami Central, they win state probably every year, it seems like, in a brutal district and region. But what's it like to bring him back? He didn't transfer. He had SEC interest out of high school. So how happy were you that, he didn't or did or whatever, just to have him back?
No, we're really excited about having Keywan back. And not only is he a good player, he, when you meet him, he's a very personal young man, excellent leader on our football team, and really excited about his future here at FIU. And, he wants to be here in this area. His name's well known. And you're right. He played over there at Miami Central. And, I don't think he lost a game in a 3-year period of time and won 3 state championships. And they even beat IMG over there, which is a hard thing to do. When you're just a public school in a city, right? And so it's exciting to have him leading our team.
Coach, so how do you, I remember, growing up in Broward, and when Central would play Northwestern or Carroll City or any Friday night at Travis Powell, if Central's playing or Northwestern's playing, I mean, the stadium's packed with just locals, not, necessarily students or alumni. So how do you get those people that watched him and watched, Lexington Joseph in high school at Central to watch them at the next level and start showing up at FIU games?
We're starting to have them show up. There's no doubt about it. We've recruited Dade and Broward area hard. We even put up a billboard, when we signed the guys there, they can sit on the interstate. So we're starting to attract that. No doubt we need to do that. That's what we want to do. Even in the transfer portal, we look at South Florida guys first. That's who we're trying to get. We're trying to get kids from South Florida. And we want to be South Florida's all-star team is what we want to be. And we're slowly working there and getting there and starting to get more and more guys that want to stay here and play. And we're excited about that. And they are starting to bring more fans. And there's more media attention because the local television stations, the local media, the podcast, all the people that follow these young men in high school. So they're excited to see what they do in college.
Well, Coach, you lose your top receiver last year. It's a lot of production to replace. Who are some names we should keep an eye out for that had good springs that you're looking to have a good fall for you out wide out?
Well, Dean Patterson, who played really well for us last year, will be back as a redshirt junior. He also returned punts for us and did an excellent job there. Eric Rivers, another young man that caught a lot of balls for us, who had an excellent spring. And then, so I would say those two guys can do a lot of things for us, and we're excited about what they can do.
Coach, in this Conference USA, it was kind of the same last year, and it's, probably the same this year. Liberty's going to be everybody's favorite going in, and then probably Western Kentucky. But then after that, nobody knows. It seems like it's a wide open conference, and especially in the portal era, you can flip a roster just like that. So where do you think you guys stand right now going in? Or do you want to kind of stay under the radar as maybe a sleeping giant?
Right. We're definitely the most mature football team that we've had. And, last year, this time we lost 9 starters in the portal in spring practice. This year we lost 0 starters in spring practice. So that to me shows you the kids want to be here. They like it here. all those guys got experience. So we lost, of course, we lost Chris Mitchell right after the season was over. He was a 6-year player who graduated from here, and I hope he does great at Notre Dame. But I feel very good about this team, and we're by far the most mature team that I've had here. And so when you have that, you've also got depth. When people get nicked up, you're not throwing a guy that's green behind the ears and having to worry about mistakes. So I feel that's going to be a big advantage for us this year as the season wears down compared to the last couple of years.
Got to ask you this, Coach. It's kind of we're going to ask all the coaches we have on. It's the raging debate in the last couple of weeks. Group of 5 specific playoff. Where do you stand on it? Do you have a stance on it?
No, I haven't heard y'all talk about it, but I've been saying it for about 3 or 4 years. I think we definitely should do it. I think all the stuff that you see coming down the pipe about all the revenue sharing, everything like that, that's been out there for a while. I think we should have our own playoff system. I guarantee you ESPN and all of them would follow it all the way through. We could have a big build-up, and I think it'd be excellent for the group of 5. And I think it'd be something that's watched, really watched a lot. You can tell by the weeknight games. We play weeknight games. The MAC plays weeknight games. Those are some of the biggest watch games all week. So they still, love football, and I think it'd be good for the bowls that we play in. We'll get more exposure when we play through the bowl games doing that, because we'd be able to line that up. There's no doubt you would be able to. So I definitely think that's something that should happen, and quite frankly, I think it eventually will happen.
Do you think that the group of 5 still will have at least one representative in the CFP, or do you think, if it does go that route where there's a group of 5 playoff, that they'll all just be in that playoff?
I don't know on that. And I don't know if the group of 5 team, money will tell, right?
Yeah,
it depends
always.
on how much money the 12th team gets. But, you might be the 12th team and definitely want to play in one of those games. I get it. But if you could be the number 1 team and play through the whole thing and play 5 times on national television and then play in a national television bowl game on a national television date that people would be watching it, might be bigger for the school than just a 1-game deal. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it's all set up.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, I appreciate that you have an opinion. Actually, I think most of the guys we're gonna have are gonna kind of go around it. But
I want what's best for college football, and if we have this split off, like it looks like everything's happening, we keep reading all these lawsuits and everything in the paper. I know y'all have been reading them. Something's dramatically going to change, and not everybody can pay $300 million like you read in the paper the other day, and have $20 million in the pot and $30 million a year. And I mean, it's just, the numbers are astronomical to me. So if we can find a spot where we all can land and build us and be successful, there'll be a lot of teams that do really well in that might end up 8 years, 9 years, 5 years from now, be able to make another jump. So I think that it's definitely a ground that you would want to be on. You want to be seen, and I think you get seen more that way if it all works out.
Well, definitely part of the equation, too, is the whole NIL and transfer portal deal. Would love to just get your take on that. I mean, it just seems like it's kind of the wild, wild west, since it's kind of come about. Is there a way to regulate it, or something's got to happen? Because we hear all the time from coaches that, Power 5 schools are coming in and contacting players when they shouldn't be. They're not in the portal yet. So is there a solution, to this NIL space?
I think when all of these lawsuits and everything gets settled, then I think there'll be able to be actually a ability to come to a table and really discuss it correctly and the wise way to do it. I believe the NIL is good, and I believe the transfer portal is good, but I don't think we put it in properly, correctly at the right time and had enough guardrails on it to do it correctly. I think when everything settles and all the dust settles, I believe that we can come together and be able to put something that's excellent for not only the student athlete, the fan, but for overall in college football, so we can sustain it and keep growing the game, because it's such a popular game. You don't want to see it damaged, and I think that the road we're going down now could damage it a little bit. I think if we get it on an even playing field and work everything out, that it could be a phenomenal thing for college football.
Coach, one more thing on that. Being obviously in Miami, an entertainment, flashy city, is there anything that, you or the athletic program or the school in general sort of implements to help players capitalize on, whether that be trying to grow their Instagrams or TikToks or just build their personal brand while at the same time trying to build a really good football team?
Yes, our Scott Carr and our universities invested in a mechanism called Influencer, where they're able to put their image out and people, different companies can get to them and they can go speak and do different things and have camps and speaking engagements and endorsements. So that there's a way for people just to get to them on the internet through Influencer. And so that's been a big for a lot of our athletes on all our sports teams. So trying to help them market themselves is what our universities try to do.
Yeah, I mean, you see it. You see it across the board. It's almost like some of these athletes, especially the really famous more for Instagram versus necessarily what they do on the field or the court or anything. It almost seems like they're going to the market versus going to a specific program, as if you look at what NBA players do. They all want to go to LA or Miami or New York. Seems like you're starting to see that at the collegiate level to a degree. And so, I mean, I say it all the time about FIU and FAU and any of the Florida schools. I mean, you're just you can't beat the weather, you can't beat the lifestyle and all that. So, I mean, I think if all this continues to unfold, I feel like FIU is in a really good spot.
Yes, I agree with you. I am excited about the future here. And everybody talks about all the change. Well, life has changed, right? And if you can't adapt with the change and roll with it and work with it, and keep trying to develop it and keep trying to give these young men opportunities to be successful, then that's why we're in this business, and that's what college is all about. And they'll eventually be able to kind of get everything going in the right direction for everybody.
That's it. Well, Coach, I think you're off the hook. I think we've got everything. Is there? You got one last elevator pitch or anything you want to do to try to get people excited going into the summer?
Yeah, well, we're excited about our team, and we have a lot of great games coming up, and our home openers against Central Michigan, and we'd love to see everybody there. It's here, and a great kickoff night, and then we'll have another Vice night this year. Okay, so we're getting a whole new uniform, so that'll be out there. So we're ordering that and drawing it up as you speak. So we look forward to getting that out there.
Do you know what game that's going to be yet?
No, I don't, but it will most likely will be one of our midweek games on national television.
All right, keep us posted on that.
I'm scrolling through the schedule right now, trying to. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to speculate, but
we got to borrow one of y'all's Lamborghinis, so make sure
I'll send mine down. No problem.
That's the CEO, Sprouse.
Yeah. I got a lime green Gallardo. I think it's
okay. All right.
It's down there, parked at the. It's parked at what's the rental that everybody rents from South Beach? MVP Exotics or something like that. You go rent one for a couple grand a night. I think no big deal. Coach Mac, man, we appreciate it so much. Second time guest, first time live guest. So well done. Nobody said anything inappropriate. Nobody said anything controversial. Coach, we appreciate you, man. And we're I'm trying to get these guys to go down and come see you down in Miami.
Y'all got to come on down and check it out. It's a great place. And thanks for having us on. And I appreciate everything that you do for Group of Five football. And these young men love playing, and all the exposure we can give them, I love to see for any of the teams and anybody in the Group of Five, but especially our guys at FIU. Thanks a lot, guys.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate Coach coming on, man. That's awesome.
Love it.
Thank you.
Love it, man. It's they got so much potential down there.
They really do.
So much potential down there. But it's funny, like we were talking about Jenkins and Joseph, those Miami Central guys. Like, South Florida high school is weird because there's like between Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County, there's like 200 or more high schools. And, the top ones, yeah, your Centrals, your St. Thomas Aquinas, like they'll get decent crowds, but it's not like, Texas, what you see on TV. But when Central's playing, especially if they're playing against Miami Northwestern or Booker T. Washington, and they play it like I don't even know what you call it. Travis Powell is like a community, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of teams play there. So they'll play like a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday night game. But those games are freaking cracking, dude.
Yeah.
So like when he mentioned those guys like doing camps and stuff like that, those camps would crush. And then like if you could just start getting those guys that, they go bet on Pop Warner football down there. Those guys need to be going to FIU games, especially the midweek games, man. You're not going to the nightclub. I mean, you could, but you're not going on a Tuesday night. Go watch FIU play New Mexico State in a big conference game.
Well, when you start bringing in those local guys, right, and keep them on the team, because one thing he mentioned that I liked was didn't lose any starters to the transfer portal this year. That's huge. But you bring in these local guys, and then you hold those local camps like you were talking about, Sprouse. What is that going to do? The teammates that were former teammates in high school now have former teammates that are on FIU now. They're talking to their former teammates that are maybe in their junior, senior year of high school, down there in Miami area. It's like, hey, like come play at FIU. Like it's legit here. Like we're trying to build something. We're trying to build the all-star of South Florida, like Coach said. So that's something. Keeping those, not only keeping your starters like they have been doing, but keeping those local guys on the roster and continuing to have those camps down there and building that all-star team that he's talking about. I mean, that's huge. And it looks like he said, it looks like that they're going in that direction.
Yeah. And I think it's massive just for that area. And we've talked to Barry Odom, we've talked to Derek Mason, a couple of the, semi-newer coaches in the group of five now, and they all kind of say the same thing. It's an open door. And I don't know how it was before, but it's like we're going out to the high schools, the programs, meeting the coaches, meeting the kids, being like, you want to come see what we're doing? Come see it. We want you to be a part of this. And it just builds that greater sense of community, which hopefully you would hope that would in turn them coming out on Saturday and watching those guys play, or watching their former teammates play, or kids, they grew up watching playing there. They're going to go support them. So I think just overall from, like I said, an attendance standpoint, especially with the students last year, I thought they had a lot better, turnout at those home games than they've had in years past. So whatever he's doing is working. And then if they can just, get a few more wins under their belt, that always helps. Always helps your crowd.
Well, we talk about it all the time, and those markets are the toughest to keep a consistent crowd. And I think I said this same thing last year. I mean, the Heat are in the playoffs every year and in the finals damn near every other year, and it still takes halfway through the second quarter for people to get there.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a market that's tough, but you just keep on winning. And like you said, the students have been getting a lot better. Now you got to get these local guys to start coming. And for what it's worth, in the state of Florida right now, I mean, Florida seems to be kind of a wreck. Miami Hurricanes seem to kind of be. I mean, every year they're going to be in the top 25 to start the year, and then 3 weeks later they won't be. But it's kind of a time to capitalize. And what last time they played, FIU beat them. So,
I got one for you, Sprouse.
What do you got for me, Jeff?
There'd be nothing that would make me happier in this world than for FIU to go up to Indiana.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Week 1 and beat the Hoosiers, beat Signetti.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
And just take them down, man.
That would be incredible.
Keywan Jenkins, come out, buddy. Come out slinging it, making plays.
I was scrolling through their schedule as he was talking about the Vice game, and I was looking at their home games. I think to speculate, I think you go October 29th, a Tuesday night at home versus New Mexico State.
Mm-hmm.
A couple days before Halloween, you go Miami Vice theme. I don't know if they've decided yet, but Coach, if you're still listening, or, AD, Scott Carr, if you're listening, October 29th, Tuesday, New Mexico State, defending conference runner-ups. Big ball game. Be a big ball game. Man, they gotta. I mean, they don't have anybody on their schedule that's like. I mean, they're at Liberty on a Wednesday night. That's their toughest game for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, FAU is always a battle.
It's a right. Yeah. FAU will be good. Will be better. I mean, honestly, all their games are pretty good. UTEP. I don't know. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I mean, y'all know I'm biased, but I root for them. So I just want them to be good. I like Coach Mack a lot. You know, I think
he's awesome.
And you just want to see a guy that he truly loves the program, and obviously he loves it down there. He was born down there, so you want to see a guy like that succeed, and you want to see, you know, they got left kind of a disaster when Butch Davis left. It was kind of a weird fallout, and so it's kind of a rebuild, man. And you know, he's only been there a few years, and so.
Yeah, he's going into his third season. It takes time, and adding the variable of the transfer portal, I mean, that adds a whole nother level of complexity in trying to rebuild a program like FIU.
Yeah, and I meant to ask him about their NIL situation, but like that takes time to get, you know, the smaller schools, you know, that takes time to get that collective set up, right? So like last year, like he said, they lost so many players right after spring. And now they've lost 0 starters in the portal. So it's like maybe their NIL collective's going. Maybe they're able to keep the good players that they normally leave. And I hope that's the case because that's what they need. They need their players to stay there and to be able to build and really, you know, build that program. And FIU's just they've been gutted the last couple years in the portal. So it's good to hear that they kept all their starters. That's big.
Well, and the other thing too, and not to keep talking about the same guys, but again, there's something about the winning culture too. And if your quarterback's a guy that never lost a game in high school or whatever, I mean, that's just you want guys like that just understand winning and win no matter what. And you look, they lost a couple games by a score or less last year, and now you know that guy. If you can keep Jenkins around. And when he develops, he gets a little older and he becomes, you know, captain of the team or he's a leader of the team. I mean, and then like you said, Tip, you start bringing in your buddies from that school because they still ain't losing,
right?
You know, and you start bringing in. I mean, and then you got a chance, like he said, an all-star team. But you know, I meant to ask him about, and I don't know if y'all saw it. Tyrese Chambers got picked up by the Browns or maybe Bengals, one or the other.
See that.
So yeah, former FIU guy that I hate to say it. Shouldn't have transferred.
Yeah.
But
I'm interested to see how Mitchell does at Notre Dame. Because I don't know who Notre Dame has on their roster at wideout, but I know they don't throw it as much as FIU does. Mm-hmm. So what do we say all the time? The NFL will find you. You need film, you need tape, you need stats.
Well,
so
yeah.
I wish I'm nothing but the best for him. But
yeah, and there's some, you know, there's some that, you know, it's hard to say no to something like that. I get it. I get it. Notre Dame, a historical.
I'm sure they threw a bunch of money at him too.
Sure they did. And they probably promised him a college football playoff. Interesting, Coach Mack's thought on the playoff there, huh?
That's the first one that we've gotten where in favor.
Just all in favor. I think some of them are kind of just a little neutral, maybe a little like. You know, they want to not give an answer, but yeah, interesting.
Well, I see both sides to it, and
I do. We will discuss
plug for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, our
boy.
live show. We're gonna go deep dive into Josh Pate's the Group of Five. I don't want to call
slander, man.
Yeah, slander, bashing. I don't know, but yeah, that I see both sides. There's good points to both sides of it, and he made some really good points. I thought Coach did.
Yeah. No, 100% he did. And that's what you know, it's good to be rational and it's good to listen to good points and then make a educated decision.
That's it.
But anyway, Coach Mack, thank you again for coming on. FIU football. Thanks you guys for you know, getting this all set up. We certainly appreciate it. FIU fans, go check out the Panthers this year, man. Local Miami folks, go check them out. It's really good football. They got good opponents coming in, really good players and great coaches. And they're probably better than the team you got down the road. So Thank you guys for coming on. If you liked the show, make sure you subscribe on all your podcast streaming platforms, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Tell your family and friends all about us. Leave us a 5-star rating, leave a review, leave a comment, click the like button. Follow us on all the social media platforms at Group of Five Guys. Check us out tomorrow night live, deep dive into the Group of Five separate playoff. Also, if you're just checking this one out for the first time on an inside drill, we had UNLV head coach Barry Odom on last week. The week before that, we had Toledo athletic director Brian Blair. We got some more coming. Nothing official yet, but we're going to go with a little interview down in New Orleans. I tell you what, boy, Vegas, Miami, and New Orleans 3 weeks in a row. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it if we weren't virtual.
There's no doubt.
Do it. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Group of Five Guys, we are out of here.